What is up, everybody? This is another episode of the Dre Mac Show. Today's episode is Kevin Samuels right? So we're about to dive into a lot of the things that Kevin Samuels says, especially the statistics. And one of the statistics is about black marriage and all of that. So that's what we're gonna get into. Is Kevin Samuels right on the next Dre Mac Show?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac with another episode of the Dre Mac
All right, y'all, let's get into this. Is Kevin Samuels right? So I was watching one of Kevin Samuels' videos, and of course, I'm not going to play any of his videos because I do not want to get my YouTube my YouTube channel strike. So, Mr. Kevin Samuels, I want you on my show. I don't want you striking my show. But it's a lot of things that Kevin Samuels has been saying, and a lot of people have been going back and forth on the Kevin Samuels, what he's been saying. So one thing that I want to focus on is not the emotional, because a lot of people are not really listening to the they listen to the emotional side and not listen to the actual logical side of what he's talking about. So let me first start off by this. I want to go ahead and share my screen real quick, y'all. So give me a second, because I want to be able to get into what he's actually talking about when he's talking about black marriage. So I want to get into that first. So let's go into the first thing, because one thing he says, and let me change this just for a second. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. So what I did was I brought up black marriage in society, and one thing about Kevin Samuels' platform, I want to make this a little bit bigger. One thing about Kevin Samuels' platform, y'all, is that if you really listen to what he's talking about, he wants to be able to bring black marriage back. That's his big thing, is more people need to be married. And I know people get on him because they're like, you've been divorced. And which I'll be getting to that too, because the divorce rate is not because men don't want to be married. It's women not want to be married. So let's go into this real quick. I want to go into this because I want to be able to have some transparency. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So marriage has been and it's hard for me to read it on my big old screen here. So I might have to bring this down maybe just a little bit. So it says marriage has been a declining institution. The declining institution among all Americans, and this decline is even more evident in the black community. In 2016, only 29% of African Americans were married, compared to 48% of all Americans. Half, 50% of African Americans has never been married, compared to 33% of all Americans. So that's one thing that he's talking about, is that, we need to be able to push black marriage. We need to be able to push black marriage. I'm going to stop this for just a second. Bring back up my screen. So what he's talking about is bringing back the institution of black marriage. And in here, it literally says that half of 50% of African Americans have never been married, compared to 33% of all Americans. So what he's basically saying is that even though we're only 13% of the population, Take 13% and set it. Let's say it's 14. But let's go to 14. Make the numbers easier. So let's go to 14%. So 14% of the population is African American, right? If you do half of that, which is only 7% of the population, if the population in the United States of America has never been married whatsoever, right? And what you're saying is the other percentage of that of America is only 33% of the rest of the population has never been married. So we're talking about, we're talking about Caucasians, we're talking about Asian Americans, we're talking about Hispanic Americans, Middle Eastern Americans, all the things actually Kevin Samuels actually talks about on his channel. He's actually right. 50% of African Americans has never been married. And one thing he does say that a lot of people don't like, but it's the absolute truth, is that we have more baby mamas and baby daddies out here than married folk. So on this, let's check this out. It said, after viewing the available data, we can see that although fewer black, and I'm about to pull this back up. I'm sorry, I should be sharing this so you guys can be able to see my screen too. Let's do that. So it says, after reviewing available data, we can see that although fewer black women are now married, said fewer black women, more black women than black men have been married at least once. This is because a higher percentage of black women are divorced and widowed than men. So let's put this into perspective now. Now, people be getting on Kevin Samuels. Let's put this into proper perspective now. It says, this is statistic. This is actually blackdemographic.com. If y'all don't believe what I'm saying, y'all see the information here. And y'all be getting on Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels actually is telling y'all the truth. There's more women that are black women are divorced, and women lead the divorce rate. There's 70%, out of all Americans, 70% of women will divorce a man before a man divorces a woman. That means 70% of the population, even higher than the black community, compared to men actually divorcing. So does he hold a little validity in what he's saying? So he's even saying, even though there's only a small makeup of the percentage of people that's actually married, more women would divorce you than actually the men will. So let me go back just for a second, because I want to show. So let's do this. Now I'm gonna give everyone. I'm actually, what I'm going to do is, if you're watching me on YouTube, and make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that y'all liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Don't be leaving me hanging on my YouTube channel, but like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll be able, if you want to, you can actually call into the show via the Dre Mac Show page. So go to the Dre Mac Show page, go to Messenger. You can call me on Messenger once I open those lines up. But I'm gonna give y'all opportunity so we can be able to get, because I can't get to every single comment. But if you want to be able to call in and talk about this, because I'm gonna also talk about the accountability that he talks about when he's talking about women, and women's accountability compared to the men's accountability. So we're gonna get into all that. But I want to make sure that I have some transparency, so I'm not just saying stuff off the top of my head. I'm giving y'all facts and statistics. That's exactly what he's talking about. Facts and statistics. So it says married. 29% of African Americans have been married. 32% of African American men have married, compared to 26%. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm just saying, that sounds like more men are willing to be devoted to a woman compared to more African American men are willing to be devoted to a woman compared to to black women. Divorce, 12% of all, they're 12% of all, 10% of men are divorced. 13% are women. So you see where the scales are tipping? I know a lot of women don't like to hear this, but he's making some points, is what I'm getting at. 3% of men are separated, 4% of women. So that's a higher, widow, we ain't, not even got to get into that because there's, but never been married, 50%. So 52% of men has never been married. 48% of women have never been married. And that's 34% of the population that's never been married. So let's see. It says, okay, and let's dive into this. And I'm about to make this bigger because I want to be able to dive into this. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Nah, I'm about to. Yeah, this is fine. So let's just read this just for a moment. It is also believed that a large percent of black men marry white women because that is something that you hear a lot. Oh, well, first of all, let's keep it real. The first thing that you hear is all these niggas out here are gay or on the down low. They either marry or they dating white women. That's why I can't find no man. So let's go to the actual statistics and see what that says to see if Kevin Samuels gets another win under his belt. It is also believed that a large percentage of black men marry white women. This is often cited as one of the causes of lower marriage rates among black women. This, however, is only partially true. While black men marry white women at twice the rate that black women marry white men, in 2017, only 15% of black men was married to non-black women, which is up from 11% in 2010. About 3/5 of those non-black women were white. So there is evidence of an increase in black men marrying out in a racial demographic. As a matter of fact, the Pew Research Center released a report finding that 25% of male newlyweds in 2013 married non-black women compared to 12% of black women who married out. However, Asian women and Native Americans still have a higher rate of interracial marriage. Black women were the least likely to marry non-black men at 7% in 2017, and only 4% were married to white men. So what he's saying is that it's a partial thing, but that's not the overall science. That's not the overall science. So let's keep this. And if you look at this demographic right here, is that black men who black men marry. 85% have a black wife, y'all. Come on now. 85% have a black wife. So let's not bring up, so we can kill that. Oh, black women just don't like black men and don't love black women. The stats say that is a lie. The stats say that is a lie. A big, fat, ugly lie. Let me see. 9% has a white spouse, 3% has a Hispanic spouse, and 3% have a other spouse. And who black women marry? 93% of black women have a black husband. So let's not say that black love is out of the window. I kind of hate when that gets pulled up because they try to say, oh, there's no black love. There's no black love. There is black love. That is, I'm telling you, is propaganda that goes against what to divide us with. It's just propaganda. Again, blackdemographics.com. How many black men and women have married out? So this brings you to statistics again, blackdemographics.com. So let's see. Okay, in 2012, the U.S. Census Bureau released a report that studied the history of marriage in the United States. And this is something that he also brings up. He keeps telling women that get on his show, get to yapping and all of this and all of that, and say that that, you know, we're just different. We're not like our grandmothers and great grandmothers. And he normally 9 times out of 10 tell these women, you're right, because y'all don't want to stay married. So let's talk about the divorce rate. Let's get to this. So it said they discovered some startling statistics when calculating marriage by race. They found that African Americans aged 35 and older were more likely to be married than white Americans from 1890 until sometime around the 1960s. Not only did they swap places during the 1960s, but in 1980, the number of never married African Americans began a staggering climb from 10% to more than 25% by 2010, while the percentage for white women remained under 10% and just under 10% for white men. The first two charts below are the charts that included in the report. Only the headings have been altered by blackdemographic.com to outline these findings. So what it looks like, it says the third chart illustrates how closely the marriage gap for black men aligns with the incarceration numbers, which also experienced an abnormal climb beginning in 1980. Woo! This is some stuff here, y'all. This is some stuff, man. This does not prove causation. However, it does show that they are related due to the assumption that men in prison are less likely to marry. So let's break something down real quick. During the Richard Nixon era was the rise of mass incarceration. It wasn't in 1992 with the Bush administration. I mean, with the Clinton administration. It started in the Nixon administration. Don't believe me? Go find all the information about Nixon and Watergate and how they targeted black men, black radical men, most definitely. And hippies, they targeted radicals, especially the men. And in this portion, it literally shows that it's staggering as the incarceration rate went up, the lower number of people were marrying. So when you start talking about the 1980s going into the 1990s, you not only had, you know, that steady decline, steady increase in mass incarceration, you had a steady increase of crack cocaine and all of that in major drug busts and the world crime and all of that. That tells you that it was intentional to destroy the black family. It was intentional, because women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. It was intentional. So when Kevin Samuels is trying to tell you that there is validity in this, and y'all need to stop being so emotional when Kevin Samuels is talking, because y'all don't like the way he talks. But it's his show. If you call me talking some crap, I'm gonna probably say the same thing, because this is my show. Y'all don't pay $45 a month to make sure that you got that you have your show on streaming from this app, so we can go to YouTube and all of this, and so you can be on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get podcasts at. Y'all don't pay nothing over here until you start paying something. Then you can come talk crazy. So I feel him on that as a content creator for YouTube. So I feel him on that, but people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. So Kevin actually had a show the other day. It said, would you rather be right, be with a man, or would you rather be with a woman and live your rest of your days with a woman? And just to go watch, dude, y'all really got to just go watch Kevin Samuels' content from start to finish, not clips, because there's a lot of people that play clips. People don't like him. People pulling up his old pictures. You know what I'm saying? Saying, oh, look at this dude. This dude, you letting this dude tell you about your marriage and who you are or whatever. Because honestly, and this is the God's honest truth, some people have unrealistic expectations when it comes to relationships. And none is more prevalent than some black women. It is what it is. Some black women just have unrealistic expectations of a man. And clearly statistics is showing that black men kind of had it hard. with the rise of mass incarceration and yeah, when you're talking about coming from, you coming from the era of Jim Crow and all of this, and you go into the civil rights of 1965, and then you're coming into the start of mass incarceration with the Richard Nixon era, and then you go all the way into the crack epidemic. Who did that target the most? It targeted the black family, but more the black man. I'm just saying, ladies, there's something to this where you literally gotta get out of this mode of men have to be like this and he gotta be doing this. A woman came on there and said a man has to make $100,000 a year, $100,000 a year or more. And I'm gonna bring up this too because let me because Kevin said this. It was like $100,000 a year. So are you gonna work, or do you want a nanny, or or do you want the babysitter to raise your kid? And she was like, well, I want to help, but I also want to work too. But it's like, if your man is making $100,000 a year, do you really need to work? How many kids? And he asks questions, and no one gives a straight answer. When they get frustrated, you don't give a straight answer because men think logically. Is 2 + 2 4? Is the sky blue? Yes, or is yes or no's. But nobody thinks like that. Nobody talks like that. You know what I mean? And it is very true. Only a small majority of men make $100,000 or more. And then the woman said, well, women out here are winning. Black women out here make way more than a black man. Okay, let's go to that. And the funny thing is that women have been fighting, especially white women, for equal pay. And we're all in this trick box, but not more prevalent than black men and black women. So there's a chart here. It's not sharing this for some reason. Let me go back and let me stop my screen real quick. Oh, yeah. Let me go back to my screen because I want to show you guys this. And again, he's telling y'all something, but a lot of y'all don't want to hear it because you think it sounds harsh. Sometimes the truth hurts. I'm sorry. Sometimes the truth hurts. And it's not fair and it's not fun. But if you're not listening, if you're not really just trying to really listen, then you're never going to understand what somebody is saying. So this is why I'm going to show you, and I'm teaching y'all something today because y'all be going hard on my man Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels be telling y'all a lot of truth that y'all just don't want to hear right now. And it's cool. You don't have to listen to it. But I'm going to tell you this. When they say that black men make, you know what I'm saying, black men out here ain't doing nothing. This chart that I'm showing you right here actually is the chart line of what black men and black women make compared to our counterpart. And if you look at that light gray line at the bottom here, since 2000 to 2015, black women went from an average. This is an average of $35,813 a year per black woman. In 2000 compared to 2015, there's only been an increase of little over $1,000. Just a little over $1,000. Black men, on the other hand, have been decreasing because in 2000s, the average black man was actually making about $42,000 a year, on par with white men and white women. There was making an average. Actually, in 2000, black men were actually making slightly more per person at $42,967 compared to their white counterparts at $42,591. And if you go down to 2015, it decreased. While white men have jumped up increasingly by $4,000, black men have decreased by $900, by a little under $800. So, number one, it shows that it's a massive decrease when it comes to black men making money. Now, massive, you said, well, $900 is not that much, or what is it? $891 is not that much, right? What are you talking about? That's not a lot. But if you look at the average man making that amount of money per person, yes, that is a decrease. And only 10% of the population actually makes, $10,000 or more. So when a woman comes up with these unrealistic expectations and say black women out here are winning, and when Derek Jackson was out here like, yeah, girl, black women out here are winning, you kind of, if you look at the statistics, we're actually winning. But that's the divide. They want you to divide yourself. They still want you to divide yourself. At the end of the day, they still want you to be divided. So they don't want to tell you the truth, that you need us as much as I need you. And when he's talking about marriages, yes, every marriage is not going to be perfect. You'll get to, you might be divorced. That doesn't mean he don't know what he's talking about. So when people go around say you let somebody who can't stay in a relationship tell you about a relationship, yeah, because obviously the only way that you learn is if you fall. Get back up. That's the only way that we learn. And sometimes you got to take knowledge from somebody who's been through the mud. It's the best advice to come from, because they don't want you to go through the same things that they went through. There's no difference in a crackhead coming and talking at the school that's not named Tyrone Pickens and talking to you about all the things he went through in his life. It's no different. But what we get at is that when he starts talking about what these unrealistic expectations are, and then he starts bringing in the high value man, because he even says, I wish I could just play the clip, but I don't want to get my YouTube channel striked. He clearly tells y'all that a high value man is a man who makes $10,000 or more living in LA, Houston, New York, or what was it, Miami, or you know what I'm saying? These different high class places. You know what I mean? Dallas. You know what I mean? Who's in a prime position in his life. That's what the high value man is. But yet, y'all think he's talking about you. And sometimes I even put up my and sometimes he's not talking about you. When he's saying that you're average, women get mad because he said that you're average. There's nothing wrong with being average. If you make $36,000 a year, you're your average household for a black woman. There's nothing wrong with that. But yet y'all take it and be like, look at how he's talking to us. Do you know how many black women have talked to men crazy on talk shows? Does anybody remember Ricky Lake? Does anybody remember Sally Jesse Raphael? Does anybody remember, how Oprah used to be and how they used to go so hard on black men to get, if black men wasn't following this rhetoric? And then y'all say, oh, it's toxic masculinity. It's toxic masculinity. Dude, stop with the toxic masculinity stuff, because it has no validity. But you don't want to talk about feminism that goes all overboard. So if you're going to talk about one, you need to talk about both. But y'all don't want to hear that. And then if you ask a woman, what does a man need? What do men want? What do men want? Some of them have no complete idea, or it's unrealistic, because you don't go ask a man. So when a man that's in his 50s, and Kevin Samuels talks, I put this on my mama. He talks like my daddy. When you go ask a man some questions and he gives it to you straight, no chaser, straight liquor. It ain't gonna feel good, but it's gonna be at least the truth. And do you really want to hear the truth, or do you want somebody to pander to you and make you feel good? When sometimes you go to a church, they're not there to teach you how to be able to get out of a situation. These big mega churches, that's one of the reasons why he said that his first wife, he couldn't do it, because his first wife was listening to the prosperity preacher and and hollering and shouting more than she was for, you know, her man, because it was making her feel good. The sugarcoating of it makes you feel good, but when you get to the hard-hitting truth of that Bible, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. So what does church do? Coddle you. And of course, they're going to coddle the black women because that's the majority of the people that go in church. How many times have you went into a church and then you see nothing but hats? I'm sorry, ladies, there's skirts and hats in the church. Not a lot of men, skirts and hats. Because one thing about men that y'all might not know, game recognize game. And when game recognize game, we can see what's going on. And half of the time, we don't want to stick around for the bull crap. This is what happened with Derrick Jackson. We knew what he was doing. We've all, not all of us, but you know some simps. You don't want to tell folks the truth. They be on some sipping. They be sipping and they pimping. We know them. They'll tell you, I mean, let's be real. A lot of dudes, women, ladies. A lot of dudes will tell you a whole bunch of stuff just to get in your draws. They be like, hey, queen, you my beautiful black queen, and this, that, and the other. And once he get in them draws, that's the end of that. Because he feels like it's easier to get in your draws than it is to get to your heart. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. And then with the way propaganda is now, all they doing is just shooting you booty, how easy it is, how you got this WAP and all of this and all of that, and how you just got to look cute and whatever, and then you out with your girls and you on Instagram, and it's the first thing you're doing is bringing up your phone. Look at we doing the thing. And then they get mad because he'll say you're doing it lonely. He get mad because he tells women, get married early. I'm going to tell you this. Folks in college, the ones that know that they got a good man who's about to be an engineer or different things like that, snatched up like that. They'll snatch him up like women will go and snatch him up like that. Because they know that he's about his purpose. Y'all heard my podcast. If you haven't heard my podcast about purpose, go and check that out. It's on Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Go read the Alpha versus Omegas. When a man is on his purpose and a woman sees that and they know that he's about his purpose, he's going to get snatched up like that. In college, don't care, broke, whatever. We going to get married. We go to the courthouse because I love this man and I know that he has a purpose for my life and we can be able to build together. The thing is, nobody wants to build together. Nobody wants to take the chance to just build from the ground up. Because when you build from the ground up, y'all can go through the trials and tribulations together that goes along with it. If that's okay. That's okay. But you learn each other along the way. So that way you can have that 50-year, relationship. Y'all been together since y'all was 19 that y'all be posting all on your social media saying, I wish I had a relationship like that. But ladies, they propagate you to have a hot girl summer, to still look cute. Go work. Only reason why a lot of people now work out so they can go in the mirror and show on Instagram that they working out. I'm like, damn, you take more pictures. Are you really working out or you taking pictures? But y'all don't want to hear it. That's the truth. Some of y'all don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. So they propagate you to be independent, to not need no man. And they propagate you to not need no man. They just talk about men like a dog collar, scrubs and all that. You don't need no man. You don't need no black man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all call us niggas. These niggas ain't. Do you know how many times I've been on Clubhouse? And I was going to do this live from Clubhouse too. But I chose not to. Because all I hear when I go on Clubhouse is these niggas is weird. These niggas ain't this. This nigga. And one girl tried to come to me, nigga. I'm not your nigga for one. I'm a grown man. My name is Dre, not nigga. So get that, I'm just the way I talk. So you're telling me you want me to talk to a hostile black woman. Now you're fitting the propagandic mode that actually has the truth of it, of an angry black woman. But y'all don't want to hear that because you have to be guarded. No, you do not have to be that guarded that you have to come around and talk like that to a man. Man sit around like, what you talking to me like that for? But then y'all turn around and get mad when Kevin Samuels talk to y'all, start talking to women the way he talks to them. He never cusses at them. He never calls them out his name. He just be like, ma'am, calls him ma'am, tries to be cordial. And it's his show. So if you overtalk the man and on his broadcast, he has the right to tell you to chill out. Not mad at that. So, all right. So let's do this. If you are listening to me now and you want to go in and communicate with me, if you want to call in, go to my inbox on the Dre Mac Show page. Go to my messenger. Call me through Messenger. If you want to be able to talk about this subject, because I believe this is an interesting subject, and but I want to be able to hear from you guys. So if you guys want to be able to talk about this, go ahead and hit me up on my through Messenger, and let's have a conversation about this. And like I said, all you got to do, make sure you guys are liking and sharing the broadcast. Make sure you guys are liking and sharing this podcast. Make sure you are subscribing to the YouTube channel. Make sure you go hit the bell notification every time that I go live or that I have some of my other videos that I post. And the live is normally easier to do for me because the editing process when I'm doing like breakdown videos and stuff like that, or movie review videos, those take a long time. They take longer because I have to be able to edit them or whatever. Like a 15-minute video looks cool until you're doing 3 hours of editing. You know what I mean? So making sure you got your stuff right or whatever, and make sure you don't get copywritten stuff. So, but yeah, so let me see. I want to try to get to you guys' comments, but I don't know if the comments have stopped or what. So I don't know if the comments are I don't know if the guys are commenting or what. So I'm trying to look and see if I can keep up with you guys' comments. I might not be able to. Let me see if I can check the comment section on the on here. I don't really want to bring this out too loud, because if I do it on here, then it's going to be super duper loud. So make sure you guys are still commenting on this. I'm just trying to check you guys out. Let's see. Dominique said, yes, he is. He is right. My man Christian McDonald. He said, great episode. My man Steve said, hell yeah, he is. Kevin Samuels, the OG. All right. And of course, this is from earlier, so I just want to just post some of these. People don't want to hear reality. Ladies don't believe in numbers. They only have outlandish dreams. He pushes for the average man. Yes, he does. He does push for the average man. He never tells men. He talks to men. When I tell you he goes hard on men, go back to first of all, 3 years ago, Kevin Samuels was doing his show up for men, 2 men. He wasn't just doing this for this. This just came about. It just so happened that he went viral, and it lifted from there. You're about to get hate simply for speaking about Kevin being right. I say, you know what? I don't care about the heat. I believe that a lot of people get emotional. And that's what I'm saying. This is the beauty about men and women, because we do balance each other out. Ladies, men, when you talk to them, logical, not emotional, just logical, you will get more of a logical answer. But when you come to a man emotionally, we are not built emotionally. So that's why you're the yin to our yang. That's why we need you and you need us, because we complement. When you're emotional, we can be logical. You see what I mean? And Kevin Samuels actually said something that made sense. He asked this lady, this was on one of the recent videos, I think it was on a couple days ago. He told a young lady, he said, if you were thirsty, and all the men were gone, how you gonna go get water? So she lived in Michigan. She was like, I just go to the lake and get it. She was like, okay, so when you go to the lake, what you gonna do with the water? She was like, I'm gonna drink it. He was like, you're gonna die because of the chemicals in there. Now, I know to boil the water. Whenever you get any type of water from any type of lake or freshwater source, you have to boil the water so you can be able to get the pesticides out. She didn't know that. So, you know, so let me see. Let's go back to the let's go back to to this. Let's say he said, ladies, he is speaking in general, not your personal experience, the subjective. Look at the overall numbers and the percentages. And again, I brought up the numbers and percentages. All right, we got a caller. My man Steven James, what's happening?
Man, you probably should use my name, man.
I can't help it. Oh, let me. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna use nobody's name. If you call in, I ain't gonna use your name. I'm gonna say yes, sir, no, sir.
You know, this is a touchy subject, man, because I noticed I've been watching Kevin Samuels for like a couple of months, and every time I notice he makes a great points. Most ladies take that point that he made as a personal jab at them, and then say that's not me, and I don't do that. And why you say I do that? I don't go to the club and things of that nature. Most of these things is across the board for most people, and people are ashamed to admit that they may not do all the things, but they do a lot of the things or some of the things.
Yeah,
for men too.
Absolutely. So what is it? Let me ask you this, because I want to be able to make sure that other people, if you guys want to call, all you got to do is go to my messenger, call me through messenger. I'm not going to say your names, so you know what I mean. We're gonna keep it discreet. If you want to hop off and be able to call in, I want to hear from ladies too. You know what I mean? If ladies, if y'all out here, y'all listening, you know what I'm saying? Go to the Dre Mac Show page, go to the messenger, call in. I want to be able to hear from y'all. But what is one? Let me ask you this: what are some of the things that you hear Kevin Samuels say that actually applies to the average man like me and you?
Most of the time, we deal with these outlandish dreams. Like now, everybody wants everybody to be an entrepreneur. So you in a relationship, everybody in the house is supposed to be an entrepreneur, but nobody's actually taking care of the family. I don't understand how that's supposed to be possible. If we're trying to build a family together, how we all gonna be out running the streets trying to have 5 streams of income apiece and things of that nature? I'm not understanding the mind state we in. Everybody want to drive the S series and 7 series and shit like that. We can't have that mind state. We ain't made it to first base yet, and everybody trying to be on third base or home already.
Right, absolutely. I agree with you on that. One thing that when I'm listening to Kevin Samuels, the biggest thing that I'm taking away is that he wants to me, he wants to bring black families together, because the numbers say that 50% of African Americans are not marrying. That's 7% of 14% of African Americans is not even married. You know what I'm saying? Or not getting married. You know what I mean? Or never been married. So he's trying to bring the black family together. Do you agree with that? And then I'm gonna let you go so somebody else can call in.
I agree definitely with that, but a lot of times we as people, for one thing, black people, we don't understand economics and numbers and ratios and things of that nature, and we have a funny understanding of it, and we have our own envisioning of this is how it's going to work, and we never look across the board, because what they always tell you, follow your history so you don't make the same mistake or something. The analogy goes something like that. I can't remember, but other people are. I watched Kevin Samuels about a week ago, and there was a woman that was like, "Why you got to be so dark and melancholy all the time?" And he said, "I'm just being real. People scared to be real anymore. Everybody has a sugar-coated dream."
Right, absolutely, man. I appreciate your call, man. You know, I'm gonna get at you later. Appreciate it. All right, so I mean, you hear somebody who actually listened to Kevin Samuels, and this is what he's talking about. Ladies, I want to hear from y'all, because y'all be going, a lot of ladies be going hard about Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? I think my man Kenneth McLean. Let me just read this real quick, because this is funny. I posted it up, but he said it right. What's going on? You're on the Dre Mac Show.
Can you hear me, bro?
What is up, bro? I can hear you just fine. What's happening?
Man, you was my goddamn real name, okay? You
hey,
so
you know, I'm just saying, just my man Christian McDowell. Make sure that y'all go to the Not Your Average podcast.
Hey, use my whole name. I'm a real nigga. Use my real name, okay? Ain't out of nothing.
So, what you got to say about the Kevin Samuels? Is Kevin Samuels right?
I agree pretty much everything Kevin Samuels say. So, I'm a little nigga though. I'm only 20. I'm in school right now, stuff like that. I go to Missouri stuff. So, I listen to him just try to see, like, what women to be with, what to look into, and what to weed out and everything. But my whole thing with him is like, there's sometimes, bro, I watch him all the time, bro. Like, he's my go-to thing with it outside of sport to watch. Sometimes we're gonna do a better job of just being a little bit more respectful. Like it's a difference between being real and respecting a woman. Like it's like calling broads, saying some derogatory things. Like that ain't being real, but that's being disrespectful, bro.
Right.
That ain't for that. You know what I'm saying? Because someone call your mama a broad, we'll come behind that. You feel what I'm saying, bro?
Absolutely.
So it's a way to go about certain things, the way you talk to a woman, bro. Like especially black women. Don't be out there fixing about being for black women and they call them a broad or cut them off or all that, bro. Like, you ain't God, bro. Like, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? So I like Kevin Samuels. I love Kevin Samuels, but it's a way to go about certain situations, bro. And that comes with maturity. And with him being grown man, he should understand that, bro. So a lot of it is antics and entertainment. It ain't being real.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let me also ask this question because I haven't got to this part. And this is part if you actually go to the to my video now, is Kevin Samuels right about black marriage and women not being held accountable? That's the second thing. Are women not being held accountable? Are women?
Do I think women are being held accountable?
Yeah, for the things that they do.
I think women are not being held accountable, but that starts with a black man though. You know what I'm saying? We got too many beta men running stuff, bro. Like you gotta realize we got 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds men that got beta mentality. So a woman gonna be submissive for the right dude. If you're doing everything right, you bring something to the table. It ain't about making $100,000, bro. But if you have a good living, bro, you providing your family, you going to work, you setting the tone, you respecting her. She gonna be submissive for the right dude. You can't expect to have a submissive woman or you're not a nigga not doing nothing, bro. You can't look at the black women see why we're not married. Bro, women gonna fall around. Women are built to follow, bro. But the man gotta learn how to lead. Just because you're 30, 40, or 50 years old with a beard don't mean you know what you're doing, bro. And a lot of older niggas don't know what they're doing. And that's what it comes down to for real. So it starts with the man hold they woman accountable. You feel what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely. So you agree, you do agree that as far as Kevin Samuels trying to bring the family together.
Absolutely. Right. You have to see that. Yes.
Right.
Yes, he's definitely doing that.
But also,
that's his whole purpose.
That's his whole purpose. But you do also agree, and Kevin also says this, that there's too many grass-eating lions out here. Also.
Man, too many betas, bro. There's too many betas. You can't, but these women are acting out of control because we got beta men going for the okie doke. I know girls running game on dudes. They just going along for like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever type of team would you like that type of mentality, like, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? There's young niggas doing it, middle-aged dudes doing it, and OGs be doing it, bro. Like, you understand? When they do a whole bunch of good talking about what they do, what they bring to the table, man, they just bums or bakes. So we'll start with the man, bro. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Appreciate it, Christian. You know, we got to get up for the Not Your Average podcast. Make sure that you check out Christian for the Not Your Average podcast. I'm going to let you go so somebody else can call in, bro. I appreciate you.
Yep. Man.
All right. So you heard from a 20-year-old man who says he likes everything that Kevin Samuels is talking about. We do need truth be told, there is so many dudes that are out here, and I talked about it on the Alphas and Omegas podcast, that go around, have no direction. They're only build a man. Literally, they are Omega. They are only about self-preservation. Only about self-preservation. It means they're about themselves. They will toss you to the side to save themselves. And a lot of our women are falling for that type of dude. And I know it's hard to decipher, but ask him where he's going, how he's where he's going, how he gonna do it, and how his plan to get there. You'll be able to decipher for yourself, what this is. So again, are women, now the question is, are women not being held accountable by other women? Does that fall on the man, or is that women not checking other women? And that's something that he also talks about. Let's kind of talk about that for a second until someone else calls in. We have a lot of what he says is that a lot of older women are not teaching younger women how to be women anymore because they're teaching them how to have hot girl summers. Is that true? I want to know, is that true? Or does that fall on the man? Is that a man's responsibility to be able to hold a woman accountable? Or is that other women that needs to be able to hold other women accountable too for some of the actions that they do? And I mean, I do feel like there are a lot of women that really don't check other women. And what I'm talking about is these women who talk crazy to a man. I'm not talking about every woman. So don't come to me or my inbox talking about we don't be doing. Yes, you do. You might do it, but there's women out here to do it. Everybody knows a woman who has a whole bunch of testosterone built up in her body talking crazy to a man, and no other woman checks that man. So, and again, let's go back to the statistics. Matter of fact, let's go back to the black marriage statistic. I'm about to share my screen again, because remember we were talking about mass incarceration from the Nixon era all the way up, right? So let's talk about that real quick. I don't have to share my audio because it's just, yeah. So let me go back for a second because I got to I'm trying to maneuver. So let's go back and read this again. It said the third chart illustrates how closely the marriage gap for black men aligns with the incarceration numbers. So remember, let's get this into perspective. The Nixon era all the way up into the 1992 or is it 1992 or 1994 crime bill had a steady increase of mass incarcerations, and the black men suffered the most. Black women suffer. Let me not say that. Both black men and women suffered the most, but this is where it's split. Black men went to jail. So black men are out of the household, leaving black women to raise these children throughout the 80s into the 90s into the 2000s. This is why you actually need to go and read Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, because she actually outlines this portion in the book, The New Jim Crow, because it actually gives us substance why we have a lot of black men out here that don't know that don't know how to be men, just not being taught by men to be what a man is. And I'm not in here with that toxic masculinity crap. I ain't got no time for it, because we have way too many men out here that kill other men and women out here emotionally. Now I'm about to dig deep into this, because this is what I talked about when I was talking about when we were talking about Ma'Khia Bryant and how her dad was there ready to get Boogie in the fight, but not having that same energy to take his daughter and use that energy to get his daughter out of foster care. Truth. This is the truth. So you have a lot of single mothers. I'm not bagging on y'all at all, because I'm not even about to go there. What I am going to say is it takes a man to raise a man at the end of the day. And you see the results of these men who are growing up and becoming men without a lot of men in their life, because a lot of men was taking out their life. And I am actually the prime example of this, except one thing. I had a strong uncle that took me under his wing. It's the only difference between me and me being an Omega. So my father went to jail when my mother found out she was pregnant with me. Got caught up in a robbery, but he got caught up in a robbery. That dude, the judge, it was his first. I went back and looked at my father's records. First offense, gave him 10 years flat, February 1980. 10 years flat, gave him a whole 20 years sentence on the first offense. Yeah, he had a juvie record, but the first felony, he gave him 20 years, 10 flat, no longer than 20. Think about that. So I am the result of growing up in state custody. All this you're talking about, when we're talking about mass incarceration and we're talking about single family homes and all of this, and the woman and the man is out of the house, and now the woman has had to raise these little boys. I am that kid. So you can't tell me about the thing you can't tell me about is this, because I'm the result of mass incarceration. I am a product of that. So this is something you can't just sit up there and tell me about, because I'm a product of this. So when Kevin Samuels talk, I listen, because he has some validity. If I didn't have strong uncles, especially my eldest uncle, my Uncle Hugo, if he wasn't in my life, I have no idea how I'll be. He taught me how to make sure that I worked. When Kevin Samuels says a man needs to be working 60 hours to make sure he maintains and accomplishes his dreams, I listen to that, because that's what my uncle was telling me about. That's why I listen to Kevin, because that's a man telling what a man needs to be doing. He don't tell no man to go out here and be lazy. It just women got to have all these expectations. The man just be lazy. He doesn't do that. So get off of that. He actually tells men how to be able to be accountable for himself. So a man has to be working 60 hours, a week to make sure he's accomplishes his goals. So I broke it down like this: if you do 40 hours of work at your job, and then do 20 hours for yourself in your work, fellas. My uncle was telling me this when I used to go work with him. Again, establishing a work ethic, so I'm not no lazy Negro out here for women to complain about. Because y'all done got with a man, and unfortunately, a lot of these men grew up without daddies, without strong men in their life. I was just the exception. Thank God it was the exception, because I can be able to be a testament of what the exception is. So now, Kenny, you can be able to hit me up through the go to my messenger, call me through the messenger. But I am the results of that. So I knew how to be able to have a strong work ethic, to be able to be responsible for myself, and be able to live this life. That's what we need to hold men. That's why we need more men out here putting other young men under their wing. That's why we need men to get these little young brothers, take them under their wing. Not just our children, other men. We got another caller. This is my man Kenny McLean. I can say Kenny McLean on here. Do you have to be somebody else? Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, what's
going on, my man?
I'm living, man. I'm living. How you doing?
I'm good, man. And my man, I can say your name on here, right? Because I already said it.
Yeah.
All right, this is my man Kenny McLean. This is another example of a strong black man now here. What do you got to say about this subject?
Man, a couple of things. First and foremost, man, you're doing a great thing right now, Dustin, with not just this show, but seeing the growth in your production, seeing the growth in your delivery. And you're awesome right now, bro. I got to tell you that straight up and down, all right?
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Make me feel good, all in my fleshy parts.
Man, it's so much that you're not gonna get this all in one show unless you're gonna be doing it all nighter with this. In all honesty, my brother. And you know where I come from. We come from the same cloth.
Yes.
And unfortunately, right now in this social media time, in this instant gratification age, we have a lot of, I'm gonna say, males, genetic males, not so much men, that are chasing relevance versus actual respect.
Yes.
You know, we go for the like. We post these pictures. We stand in clubs with our fresh kicks on, the Jordans and the Gucci belts, expecting a woman to come up and talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
No, we want to sit back. I see a lot of guys out there that just sit back and think something's supposed to come to them, and it just doesn't work that way.
Right. See, Kitty, you remember we had to go court a woman for real.
Boy, you know who my wife is.
I know. I know. Facts on facts.
And if I'm not on the hunt 24 hours a day for her, yo, I'm losing weight just because of the chase, my brother.
But that chase was worth it.
It's worth it. The work is worth it. You gotta work to get the results that you want.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these Negroes, I'm gonna go use the other word because I'm gonna say it anyway, bro. A lot of these niggas, they just don't want to do the damn work.
They don't want to work. And that's one thing what Kevin say. Kevin Samuels tells men you gotta be working. And do not bring no woman into your life if you're not working. And that's working towards her and your goals.
Exactly, but let's go there, man. So let's look at this. If we want to get biblical about it, we're looking at Boaz and we're looking at Ruth. We're going back to the biblical days of it. Boaz found Ruth while he was out working. What was Ruth doing? Ruth was working too. So as the man is out working, he sees the woman doing her thing. Oh, I like what she's doing. That's what I'm going after. A woman that's out here doing her thing.
Right.
So if a woman, so this is what Kevin Samuels says, hey woman, what kind of man are you attracting? What position are you putting yourself in to attract the man that you want? And a lot of these women, when they pick up that phone line and go that video chat with them, we find out real quick that they're not doing the work themselves to get the results in the man that they want.
Now you preaching now, brother. You preaching.
So let's talk about it. We often say to men, iron sharpen iron. That's a biblical thing, but it don't just apply to men where iron sharpens iron.
It applies to women also.
It applies to women also. And like you said, if men aren't helping men be men, women aren't also. So as a woman, you have to surround yourself with like-minded women. As we say, birds of a feather flock together.
Yep.
So if the best pair of shoes you got is them old fuzzy chihuahua looking Ugg shoes, you're not for me.
Right.
You're going to attract the same fuck boys and the same dope boys that you're tired of that's leaving you with another body on your couch.
And then let's take it a step further. You're raising a little man that's turning out to be the Negro that you didn't want to be with in the first place.
Oh yeah, and then you want to call a little man your king. No, don't confuse that little boy like that.
Right.
And it's I was raised by a woman, raised by a single mother, raised by a single parent. She did not teach me how to be a man, straight up. And in our neighborhood, how we grew up, there were OGs, there were uncles, there was everything else. What did they teach us though? They taught us how to survive. They didn't necessarily teach us how to be fathers. They didn't necessarily teach us how to take care of a home and how to nurture a woman. They taught us how to survive and how to get money and how to work and maneuver and hustle. Man, my wife and I, we've been married for 19 years, bro. I'm still learning and downloading and processing information in year 19. Right. Because my primary examples of family and fatherhood came from Fresh Prince and the Cosby Show.
Right. From propaganda, basically. From television.
From propaganda.
Right.
And for a lot of that information that those TV shows produced, yeah, it was great to see those families on TV, but from where I grew up at, in my circumstances, that was putting us trying to put a square peg into a round hole because their circumstances and what they displayed didn't necessarily fit the atmosphere that I grew up in.
Right.
You know, now if we want to look at it, I was more. If I had to look at something that would have defined my situation, I would be more of a dad like James Evans.
Right.
I work, I come home, I'm tired, I go to sleep. I'm still learning the emotional aspects of it.
Right.
And you know, you can't be too old to learn those things. I'm 40, bro. A whole 40-year-old man that's still learning how to listen to my woman.
Right. But the biggest thing is that you got the woman. And you grew with her. And you grew with her.
Okay. The easy part was getting the woman.
Right.
The harder part is keeping the woman.
Keeping her. Right.
And I ain't saying she's about to run off tomorrow, but still, that learning aspect, being able to apply it, being able to, how long does it take me to learn that lesson is what's key. How long does it take before I'm even willing to learn the lesson? That's the key part. And that's when you got to go back to that accountability thing that you were talking about, is that if I'm not, it's cool to have people around you that want to keep you accountable, but if you don't want to do it for yourself, don't waste nobody's time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've wasted money. I've wasted a whole lot of stuff. But what pisses me off more than anything else, man, is that people waste my time.
Thank you. Wasted time.
Don't call me with the same issue. If you're a brother, if you're a woman, whatever. Don't call me with the same relationship issues, because my answer ain't gonna change for you. And matter of fact, I'm not gonna answer your phone call the next time if you wasted my time.
Right. Absolutely.
And then you hit on the statistics from the incarcerations to the decline of the Black family. When men suffered, women suffered. When men suffered, the neighborhood suffered. The community suffered. But like my wife said, we need a renaissance, a wholesale renovation of Black excellence.
Yes.
And that takes consistency of accountability. But also, back once again, it's that four-letter word, work. We don't want to do the work to get back to consistency.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right.
I'm in events, I'm in nightclubs, I'm in everything else, man. And I tell you, it is hilariously sad to see how the women, not even women, to see how the females carry themselves and how the males carry themselves and leave out the same with the same results.
Absolutely.
They leave out worse than what they came.
Absolutely.
So if folks don't like what Bishop Samuels is saying, I say that as a joke. I've been following Kevin Samuels for a long time, man. If you don't like the flavor, drink something else. If you don't like what's on the TV, turn the channel. If you don't like what that brother got to say, keep scrolling.
Yup, absolutely. No use to sit up here fighting against a man who's not even fighting back. He is what he is.
He is who he is. Just like, man, I'm not going to expect you Dre Mac. I don't want Dre Mac to be Bill Cosby out here. I don't want Dre Mac to be Tyler Perry out here.
Right.
So don't complain about that, man. Just keep it moving.
Right. That's what it is. And again, what I really like is that he wants my biggest thing where I seen him, and I believe Jericho sent me his information first, is when he started talking about the Black family. And that's when I got intrigued. So what I did was I went back and listened to old episodes. And I was like, this dude got some, he got some point. I went back when he was doing his image consulting and different, different smell goods and stuff. For me as a man, I was like, I need that. What kind of shoes match with this or whatever? Because he's an image consultant. So I was down with it. So when I see people kind of dissing him because he got a man bag and this, that, and the other, oh, he gay. The first thing that he tell y'all is what do you call it sign language. And every time y'all want to you try and destroy the man and try to say he this and he that because you don't like what he has to say, but not literally taking into consideration why he's saying it.
and you're right about it, man. But here's my thing. The man bag ain't for me.
Yep.
It just ain't me.
Right.
So, but is the brother gay or not? Not my concern. It ain't paying my bills.
Sure don't.
But does the brother have some valid points that have helped me out? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The women have had Oprah. They've had Iyanla Van Zant. Women have had several voices over.
They got on her too, Miss Van Zant. They got on her, see, because she was trying to hold women accountable, and they got on her too.
Exactly. But man, I tell you, I'm gonna leave this with you. Black folks, niggas, whatever you want to call them, we are great victims. Mm-hmm. We are great victims. We love to holler and shout when somebody hits us. Mm-hmm. We do not like to take our medicine.
Honest to God truth, man. That's the benediction right there, man. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, my brother. You take care.
All right, you too.
I'm out.
All right. So you didn't hear from my man Kenny McLean. We have to be accountable. We have to be accountable, ladies. Where y'all at? I want to hear from a lady that calls in that wants to talk about this. This is what I'm really trying to get at. I don't even know how long I'm gonna go, man. I'm honestly, I'm. If this starts getting good, if y'all start liking and sharing this video, I want to hear from ladies about Kevin Samuels. Is Kevin Samuels right? Is Kevin Samuels right about black marriages and women not being accountable? Ladies, I want to hear from y'all. If you want to call in, all you got to do is go to my Messenger. Hit me up on Messenger. I will gladly lock you in on Messenger. You know what I mean? But I want to hear from you. Is Kevin Samuels right about black marriages? And I brought up the statistics in the first hour. Brought up the statistics. So he ain't lying about the statistics. I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at the camera, y'all. He's not lying about the statistics. And yes, shout out to Kendall McLean and Tamika McLean. I've been knowing them forever, ever since I was like 12. So shout out to them. They've been rocking hard. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful kids, man. Most definitely salute to both of y'all. Y'all are here doing y'all thing. And Tamika's shirt went viral, y'all. So you make sure that y'all checking out their clothing and all of that. Man, just make sure that y'all just check it in. But anyway, I want to hear from a lady. I want to hear from the ladies. Is Kevin Samuels right about black marriages and women not being accountable? I want to hear from y'all. Most definitely. If you want to be able to call into the show, all you got to do is go to the Dre Mac Show page, go to my Messenger, call me through Messenger. I will most definitely pick up. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from ladies. I want to hear from the ladies. The ladies be like, I don't want to hear what Kevin Samuels talking about. He don't know what he talking about. How he gonna be talking and he look like that? Is that all you gonna do is throw pot shots? You know, I got most definitely love you too. Love both of y'all, man. But is all we gonna do is throw pot shots when we don't like what we hear, or are we gonna actually break down and think about it? That's why I love my man Jericho Young. He really got me into thinking. Make sure that y'all go and check out the Law of Subtraction. The Law of Subtraction by Jericho Young is on Amazon. Make sure you gotta go ahead and check out that book. You already know I use that book on my show. Make sure y'all go and check that out. Are we thinking about what he's talking about? I think that's what a lot of people want to make fun of him and listen to the way he talking, blah, 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 blah. Let's think about it. Let me go back because I want to go back to the statistics. I'm going to do the statistics again. That's so if y'all are just now checking out, make sure y'all like it and sharing this video. Please like and share this video. Like and share it on. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel too. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel because I want to grow my channel also. So like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. But let me do another share on the good old share screen real quick. Let's bring up black marriages again, because this is why this is so important. And Greg, you are absolutely correct. Never mind the messenger, peep the damn message. Absolutely. You already know my man Jay Young. Make sure y'all go and check out his book. let's go into this. Because and I always shout out you guys. Anytime that I rock with y'all, you know what I'm saying? You know I'm gonna give y'all a shout out. If you rock with me, most definitely give you a shout out about what you're doing, everything. So let's go back to this. Marriage has been declining institution among all Americans, and in this decline is even more evident in the black community. In 2016, only 29% of African Americans were married. So let's make this easier. Let's bump that number up to 30%, or actually, let's keep it at 29%. Out of 100 people, out of 100 people, 100 African Americans, only 29% of them were actually married. Out of 100 people, 29% was actually married. So 29 out of 100, right? Not really big numbers. Were married compared to 48% of all Americans. So if we did 1,000 of all Americans, 48% of Americans are married, but only 29 of the 1,000 that we're talking about is African American. Half or 50% of African Americans have never been married, compared to 33% of all other Americans. So again, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, is he correct when he's saying we need to be married more? But are women holding other women accountable? Because something he says, that I have to think about that. I had to think about this because it just popped in my mind. Women have access to sex. Men have access to marriages. And another thing that is being propagated is that black men ain't got no jobs. Black men don't make enough money for me. Black men they ain't out here winning. Black women out here winning. Let's go into the statistics one more time. And I'm going to bring up black workers. And if you look at the chart, you will see in the light blue line are black women. Black women average $36,000, $36,735 a year, compared to black men that make $42,076. So the average black man makes about $42,000 a year. The average black woman makes $36,000, makes $6,000 less. So the whole notion that black men out here are just lazy bums, they ain't doing nothing, ain't doing this, ain't doing that, the numbers say differently. Maybe he's right in the ones that you are talking to, or maybe he don't want to tell you how much money he makes. But the numbers say that black men actually make more than black women. So the whole notion that black women are out here, they getting degrees, they starting up businesses, they get this, they get that, they doing this and they doing that. But the numbers say something totally different when you're looking at the economic rate compared to black men's economic rate. So it's a little unfair and disingenuous to say black men ain't out here making no money. It's disingenuous, ladies. So you can't be using that every time and thinking that, okay, black men ain't out here doing this. Black men are out here doing what they got to do. Black men are out here doing what they got to do. And I think I'm going to go on 12 more minutes. So if anybody else wants to call, make sure that you inbox me on the Dre Mac Show page in the Messenger. You call me through Messenger now, and I'll be able to take your phone call. If you want to hop off and you want to call, if you have a disagreement, make sure that you guys call in, because I just want to hear from ladies. Are black women that held each other accountable? Like I said, I'm going to get this thing about 11 more minutes at the, I've been on since 8, so I'm going to give it to 9:30. 9:30, and I'm going to shut the whole entire studio down. But again, these numbers are staggering. Again, our white counterparts are kicking out, because I'm over here, because I got my screen over here and I'm looking at it. Our white counterparts are kicking our butt when it comes to this in the last 15 years. Now we're talking about 21 years. And the data chart, of course, is not going to be for this year. So we can't use that because the statistics hasn't came out yet. But this is a fact, man. This is a fact. This is the facts and data. Facts and data don't lie. And we're talking about net profitability. Net profitability goes down for Black women at 2.1%. You know, over a course period of time, they're talking about salary, income, and the increase in wages. Y'all are at, Black women are at negative 2.1% across the board. Black men are negative 2.1%. Black men rose to 2.6%, and our white counterparts went up to 9.2%. The net productivity has went up overall, but women actually went down while Black men went up. Are you talking about average earnings from, let me see, this is from 2000 and 2017. So 2017. In 2000, Black men real medium earnings were about 73% compared to, and this is crazy, this is compared to just white women at 77%. At the same time, it was 72. At one point, Black men were earning more than white women. And this, you know, people want to bring up what is that? During the I guess on the tip of my affirmative action. Want to bring up affirmative action. And affirmative action went two ways. It benefited Black women too. It also benefited white women because it was part of the minority when it comes to affirmative action, but Black women. But even the notion of Black women going into corporate America, you know what I mean, and establishing themselves in corporate America, if you look at the actual numbers, Black women from 2000 to 2017 actually stayed at gross earnings, remedial earnings, and productivity the same from 2000 to 2017. Black men went down 4%. We went down from 73% to 69%. So, like I said, you know, numbers do not lie. So the notion that Black men are not working, false. Black men don't, you know, Black women make more than Black men, false. White women are taking all Black men, false. Because I proved that earlier. That's false. Black men actually marry more at a rate higher than Black women. So it ain't. It's the notion that Black men ain't out here loving Black women. False again. Let's share. Let me share that one more time. Just because I'm winding this down, so we could bring out all. We could take out all the Black stereotypes. Let's bump all the Black stereotypes. And say, and I can make a general consumption and say that Kevin Samuels is right. 32% of Black men are married compared to 26%. 10% are divorced compared to 13% of women are divorced. 3% of men are separated to their wives compared to 4%. All right, let's go. 85% of Black men have a Black wife. So the whole notion that Black men don't love Black women is false. Black men don't love Black women. That's false. 85% have a Black wife. 9% out of this have a white spouse. And that's like 9% to compared to 85%. Just saying. 3% has an Hispanic spouse. And the other 3% has a spouse that's undetermined, that's either Asian, Middle Eastern, so on, right? 93% have a black husband, 4% have a white spouse. So the notion that black men hate black women, don't want to marry black women, false. A shout out to Mr. Research here about to post what you just saying. What you just said black people hate numbers and hate math. They rather speculate and have some assumptions to battle documented information. Brother, you are absolutely correct. And I didn't bring up the gay statistic, how many black men are actually consider themselves gay or whatever. I didn't even bring that up, but that's even a smaller percentage than white spouses. That's even a smaller percentage of black men who's actually gay. Because that's what people bring up. I'm about to unshare my screen so y'all can see me, so I can wrap this up. But because that's another thing, all these men out here are gay. Go back to the go back to the Boondocks episode of the Kung Fu Wolf bitch. And her friend kept telling her, see, that's what I'm talking about. See, all these men out here are gay. All these men don't want to commit. All these men. And the numbers say differently. So hopefully one day, and I'm going to email the brother. I'm going to see if I can get Kevin Samuels on my show. If y'all can help me out with some donations, if it costs for the brother to get on the show. But I would love to have Kevin Samuels on my show, just so we can talk about what we see here. Just so if women want to get on the show and want to say what they got to say, because a lot of people always talk about stuff, but when somebody presents it like, hey, get on, let's talk about it. Nobody wants to get on, but they want to get on emotionally. Do not get on. Women, sometimes y'all got to sit back and not be so emotional, and just sit back and use what's between your ears. Think about something sometimes to be like, is he right? Is he right? Is Kevin Samuels right? And I've broken it down. Kevin Samuels is right. So again, Mr. Research, appreciate you stopping in on the show, man. Make sure that you liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Stevie James, of course. Shout out to the Boondocks, because the Boondocks predicted a whole bunch of stuff, and look at the results of it. We see it through social media. We can make fun. Y'all can make fun of Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels said something to me that almost made me cry. Because I'm gonna say something before I go. And there's a lot of black men, and this is shout out to the good guy, the good black man, the nice guy, the nice black man. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to the nice black man, because the nice black man have went and talked to women, black women. They couldn't get with his program because he was the nice dude. He wanted to treat them with respect. He wanted to treat them with, and I'm not talking about all women. You know the women I'm talking about. They looked at this brother and said, this brother, he ain't balling out here. He ain't doing this. He ain't doing that, but he had a purpose. And he shared you with his purpose, but it wasn't immediate money. It wasn't the immediate. So you didn't want to fool with him. The nice guy treats you with respect. He talked to you nicely, wanted to take you out and show you something different. But y'all didn't want to see that because y'all wanted to see something different. So the nice guy went along and probably got dissed by other black women, but it didn't harden his heart. Probably got with a woman. They probably talked to him crazy. And he's a man. You ain't gonna talk to him crazy. But he's figuring out, why do you have to talk to me crazy when I just want to lead you to prosperity? This is the good dude. And he turns around, he leads the good dude. She leads the good dude. Skip him. He ain't tough enough for me. He ain't the hood. Then she turned around and get with what she want. Have babies. He done did this and he done did that because she went for the okie-doke. She went for the beta. Or what I like to say, the omegas. Because the omega is about self-preservation. Learn about wolf packs. You know why I call these men omegas. So he done turned around. Now she's lost and turned out. Mine don't know if a good man come along, she don't know what he is. And that good guy, the nice dude, turned around and met him a woman who loved him for who he is. Got him a good, strong black woman, loved him to death, had a family. Now that woman who dissed the good dude, the nice guy, turned around and wishes she had that. Women, the OG women, hold some of these women accountable. Hold these women accountable. Because if I got to hold men accountable for what they do and got to take a brunt of niggas do this and niggas do that, if I got to take that, what are you doing to your women? I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I appreciate everybody who called in. I love y'all. Peace. You already know what it is, man. It's the Dre Mac Show. Make sure that you like it and subscribe to the channel. I love y'all. Peace and shalom to everyone. I am out.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac with another episode of the Dre Mac Podcast Show.